Hey, and welcome back to Lessons in Product Management. So again, this is season 3. This is episode 2. And the question that we're going to address today in this season on Ask Me Anything comes from a question in the Path to Product community, right? Someone had posted a question asking, when do you test for desirability, right? So as I teach kind of the flow of product management, one of the steps along the way is desirability. And I try to teach like how to do different steps of the product development process in order of when they should be done, even though some things kind of, it's kind of more cyclical than it is linear, right? As if you're listening to this and you've been in product for any amount of time, you know that things aren't linear. They're very cyclical. You have to go through many feedback loops and iteration loops before you ever ship anything, or at least you should. So when should you test desirability is the question we want to tackle today, right? And if you're not familiar with desirability, this is basically when you're thinking about building something and you're prioritizing against problems, is the thing that you're thinking of building to solve the problem, is it something that resonates with the customer base, right? Or are you way off track? Or one of the things I like to test in desirability is, did I even understand your problem well enough to come up with a potential solution? So again, going back to, am I on track with solving your problem, right? So you do user research, you take these inputs, you understand the problem that you're solving, and you go to solve the problem, come up with a wireframe, right? Before you get into usability testing, high fidelity mockups and prototyping, or put any code down. Heaven help us, don't put any code down if you don't even know whether or not you're solving the right problem, or if you even understood the problem correctly. Desirability testing is all about validating that one thing, right? You've gathered the inputs, you've listed your problems to solve, you've prioritized which problems to solve. Now you have a mock-up or a wireframe, something in Balsamic or something very, very simple, just to very quickly say like, okay, this is the problem that I understood. Here's a way that we're looking at solving this, and then putting that wireframe in front of it and just talking through it, right? We're not trying to test usability. We're not trying to make sure like the UX is on point. We're just trying to tell a story with how we're thinking about solving the customer's problem, right? And in this way, you can challenge your own assumptions of whether or not you correctly understood the problem, right? Going back to last week's episode, it is foundational to make sure that you are solving the right problems, but that you understand what the problems are that you're solving in general. So desirability testing is that great mesh point to make sure that you're on track before you get into the heavy UX work of high fidelity designs and prototyping, click-through prototypes. Before you get into that usability side of things, that's where I put in desirability testing, is in between. I think I understand the problem and I think I've prioritized it well. So let's go and at least get a sanity check with the customers that I've just finished interviewing to uncover their problems, right? To make sure that we're on the right track. So that's when I would do it. That's kind of how I see desirability falling into the product management umbrella. Yes, I would definitely bring your UX person with you. Development should have input as well, because at a high level, there may be constraints that make the proposed solution, even at a high level, just not possible, right? So if development can say, yeah, high level that this is possible, I'm not going to say it's feasible down to the detail or down to the acceptance criteria, but this type of solution is something that we could do. Don't know how we would do it yet, but it looks like something that's possible. And then UX is giving their input too on like what makes sense in terms of like a good user flow, things that you could use, input you can use as you're crafting the wireframe to put back in front of the customer to make sure that you're on the right track. So if you are going through development cycles and you're not testing, you're just hearing problems and going to build solutions and shipping them, then you're missing a whole middle piece. And what you're doing is you are testing, but you're testing in production, which some people do intentionally. And I think it's crazy because it's so expensive to do, right? Development time is not not cheap, right? And time, time is money, right? And so the time that you could have taken a week or two to go validate desirability tests. Like in 2 weeks, you could validate whether you understood the problem. You run a desirability test to do that. Make sure you're on the right track with the solution. You get high fidelity mockups. You get a click through prototype. If you have a dedicated team, there's no reason why you can't go through that in 2 weeks. Go through a couple of design sprints before you ever get to code. Because honestly, like if you ship the wrong thing, how much time did you waste developing it? It's going to take more than 2 weeks. So take the time to do the testing. And to me, that's kind of the logical order I see it. Gather the problems, understand the objective you're trying to hit, prioritize the problems you're going to solve in what order to meet that objective, and then have some idea of a solution in collaboration with dev and UX, right? Get a wireframe for a sanity check, then go through, once you have that sanity check done, then go through high fidelity, go through click-through prototypes for usability testing and general feedback on the solution before you ever get to code, right? Once you have those different steps validated, right? You have desirability, you have usability, then it's feasibility with your development team. Can we do it in this way? But those inputs, that team, if you're a team, you're going to have inputs from each member of the team along the way, right? It's not a waterfall thing of here's the problem, UX, go figure out the solution. Okay, dev, go design it. I don't care what our constraints are. Like that's bad. That's not team. So be a team, be a good PM, lead the team in the right direction, and make sure you're mitigating that risk so you're not testing in production and costing your company a lot of money. So I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you next week on Lessons in Product Management.